Watching cartoons is definitely one of the best things anyone could do. But did you know that many of your favorite shows have been censored or even banned in some countries around the world?
Goodbye, childhood.
If you think a cartoon about a pink piglet wouldn't stir up controversy, think again. Believe it or not, Peppa Pig has an episode that was completely banned in Australia. And no, it has nothing to do with the claims that Bluey, an Australian cartoon, is a copy of Peppa Pig. This is about an episode from the first season called Mrs. Skinny Legs. In this story, Peppa and George are playing with a dollhouse, but George refuses to follow Peppa's rules. Peppa tricks him into going to the bathroom to get him out of the room. While there, George finds a giant spider, and guess what? The two become friends. He brings the spider back to the room and scares Peppa, but he gets along so well with the eight-legged creature that he even tucks it in for a nap. When this episode aired in Australia, there was an uproar. Authorities decided it was inappropriate for children to watch because Australia is home to some of the most dangerous spiders in the world. Parents feared this episode might encourage kids to think spiders are harmless, which is far from true in Australia, where a spider bite could cause severe harm or even death within minutes. Looks like today's video is going to be quite controversial, but don't worry, it won't be censored. Get ready to dive in because it's time for another Cinewave. Let me ask you something. Have you ever watched the 13th episode of Bluey's second season? If you have, it wasn't on Disney Plus because that episode isn't there. In this case, it wasn't censored by a country's authorities, but by Disney itself. Disney, which distributes Bluey globally, decided to permanently ban the episode Dad Baby from its streaming platform. The story begins with Bingo finding a kangaroo pouch used for carrying a newborn. This gives Bluey the idea to play a game called Pregnant Dad, where Bandit plays along and pretends to be pregnant with Bingo as the baby. Hilarity ensues as Chili makes sure her husband experiences all the challenges of pregnancy, like back pain, difficulty moving, baby kicks, and of course, labor. The entire episode is incredibly funny and sure to make anyone laugh. In fact, it's freely available on YouTube and has no age restrictions. However, Disney thought the idea of Bandit pretending to have a baby in a pouch was a bit too much. That's why the real 13th episode of Bluey's second season was banned. Even Bikini Bottom hasn't escaped bans on some of its episodes. In Russia, the United States, and Germany, an episode from the 13th season was banned because it featured a health inspector quarantining the Krusty Krab due to an outbreak. Given recent global events, these countries decided to block this episode as it portrayed quarantine in a negative light. Another banned episode, this time only in the United States, is Midlife Crustacean. In it, Mr. Krabs feels old and goes out with SpongeBob and Patrick to have some fun. During their adventures, they sneak into a woman's house and steal her underwear. Authorities in North America decided this kind of behavior shouldn't be promoted.
Why did you tell me this was my mother's house?
Let's talk about another censored show. Tell me, who's your favorite Pokemon? Mine is Pikachu. But believe it or not, even Pokemon has episodes that have been banned worldwide. Specifically, episodes 35 and 38 from the first season, which aired in the 90s. These episodes are so banned globally that they're nearly impossible to find anywhere. But here's what happened. In episode 35, The Legend of Dratini, Ash, Misty, and Brock visit the Safari Zone, where they encounter a man aggressively searching for a rare Pokemon. This man uses a gun to threaten the kids. As for episode 38, which features the Pokemon Porygon, the ban was due to a scene with rapidly flashing red and blue lights. This caused seizures in over 700 children in Japan. Following this incident, countries worldwide agreed never to air the episode again. Have you caught all 1 million Pokemon yet? If so, drop a hashtag Pokemon in the comments to let us know. Do you remember in Bluey when Bandit mentioned how things were tougher back in the 80s? That definitely includes cartoons. You've probably heard of Tom and Jerry, and while there's a more modern version of the show, the original series is very old. In the earlier episodes, there were several moments where Tom the cat was shown drinking excessively or smoking cigarettes. While this wouldn't be an issue for an adult cartoon, Tom and Jerry has always been considered a kid's show. Because of this, many of those older episodes were banned. One of the most popular cartoons of the decade, Steven Universe, faced bans in countries like the United Kingdom, Russia, and India. Why? Because the show features romantic couples who are of the same gender. As a result, certain moments from the series were censored by the authorities in those countries. While the entire series wasn't banned in any single country, Steven Universe definitely had to cut some parts of its story. The city of Townsville even faced bans over religious themes in both the United States and the United Kingdom. We should note that it's difficult to go into much detail about the specific episode See Me, Feel Me because of its sensitive subject matter. However, the story revolves around a magical gnome who offers to bring peace to the city in exchange for the girls giving up their powers. The girls, wanting to live normal childhoods, agreed to the deal, but it turns out the gnome isn't a nice guy at all. He's actually a deceiver who tricks the heroines. If you've watched the Powerpuff Girls, you probably remember a character who's essentially the devil, known as him. As we said, it's hard to go into more detail about why this episode was banned due to its ambiguous religious undertones, but one thing is clear: when religion is involved, people tend to be very sensitive, which is why this episode was pulled from the air. Even Disney hasn't escaped censorship. The animated short Mickey and the Seal was temporarily banned in Denmark for a rather unusual reason. In the cartoon, Mickey interacts with a seal, yes, that cute marine animal. This episode even appeared as part of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. However, Danish authorities banned it to promote environmental awareness. The concern was that showing a beloved children's character bringing a wild animal into his home could send the wrong message. Authorities worried it might encourage kids to interact with wildlife in unsafe ways, which could harm both the animals and the children. Do you know what's safe for everyone though? Subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications. Hit that bell so you never miss another video. The Simpsons is one of those shows that will likely remain famous and beloved around the world forever. Chances are you've watched at least one episode of this iconic series. Is there even anyone out there who hasn't? Homer's family has had countless episodes censored for various reasons in many countries. Depending on where you live, there might be an episode that was perfectly fine for broadcast but banned elsewhere. One particular episode caused quite a stir among some communities. As we all know, Homer has a very religious neighbor, Ned Flanders, who is a widower. Ned's late wife, Maude Flanders, passed away a while ago. In one episode, Homer annoys God during a conversation involving Ned Flanders. The devil appears, accompanied by Maude, implying that after her death, she went to an unfavorable place and is now romantically involved with the ruler of the underworld. This storyline upset many religious groups worldwide, leading to the episode being censored in some regions. One of the most successful animated franchises ever, and now gearing up for its 5th film, is everyone's favorite ogre, Shrek. However, as you get older, you start to notice that Shrek is packed with double entendres that only adults would catch. In the United Kingdom, all of the Shrek movies had certain scenes edited to tone down those jokes, which were considered too risque. Speaking of edgy moments, Gravity Falls has had its share of censorship, especially when it touches on universal experiences like a first crush. In one episode, Dipper develops a crush on Wendy and decides to confess his feelings. However, Wendy is much older and clearly not interested in a romantic relationship with him. Before Dipper gets a chance to say anything, he realizes there's no hope and lies down on Wendy's bed. Here's where things get controversial. As he lies down, his face ends up on Wendy's bra. She casually remarks, "Dude, you're lying on my bra." While the episode itself wasn't banned anywhere, this specific part was censored in some countries. Having a boy's face in contact with a piece of feminine underwear wasn't exactly deemed appropriate for a kid's show. One of the most censored scenes in TV history happened in the amazing world of Gumball. During the song It's Love, Gumball and Darwin are taking care of a filthy clump of hair named Chris Morris. The music video features some gross moments, including taking a bath with the hairball, eating it while saying "I need its flavor," and cuddling with it in bed. All of this was cut out by Cartoon Network because it was deemed way too weird and disgusting. Thankfully, the uncensored version is still available online. Check it out. Did you know about these cases of banned or censored episodes? Pretty wild, right? But you know what will never be censored? You watching another one of our videos. We picked 2 more great ones for you to enjoy. See you in the next one.